Bull Shark 3 was released in 2024. This is written and directed by Bentman, and we have a cast including Chad Ridge, Schultz, Thom Hallum, and various. I feel like having Bull Shark 2 was not a bad idea. I feel like they should have stopped at 2. There's nothing necessarily bad about this, by which I mean it's not irritating, the pacing's not terrible, we don't spend enough time on the water, we don't spend enough time with the sharks. So it definitely isn't scary. But in terms of the detective aspect, the mystery aspect, the exploring the part of the story where people are trying to work out what they're going to do to stop these sharks, it's fine. It's not that interesting. And I think the main reason for that is that it doesn't really offer very much compared with the previous films. And I feel like when you do a sequel to a film like this, you need to ramp it up. You need the horror aspect to be stronger. You need to spend more time with the sharks, or the sharks need to be more dangerous. We need more bloodshed. There is so little of that it just doesn't have any value. It basically serves no purpose and doesn't really need to exist. To the point where I basically felt like I was watching the same film. It didn't really offer anything, so it could have been better. And I guess on the one hand, if you loved the previous two films, then you might enjoy this one, and it could be good for background company because, as I said, there's nothing annoying about it. The performances are fine. There's nothing in the narrative that I think doesn't make sense within the context of the story. The music's fine, the lighting, the camera work, all of that, absolutely fine. So it's not an annoying experience. I just don't think it offers anything at all. Certainly, if you've seen the previous films, it doesn't offer anything. If you haven't seen the previous two, then maybe you might find it a little different, but at the same time, I feel like if you haven't seen the previous two, you might want to watch those before considering giving this one a chance. If they'd ramped it up with the sharks, if we'd spent more time with the water, it could have been a stronger film. I still don't think it would have had anything really to offer as a sequel. I don't think it would have served any purpose, but at least it could have been a scarier experience. So unfortunately, while the previous films are okay, and I thought Bull Shark 2 was fine, it served a purpose, as a sequel, it was okay. Bull Shark 3 felt so similar, didn't really offer anything, wasn't really scary, didn't really give us enough time with the water, and all things considered, unless you really, really loved the previous films, or you're just looking for something to put on in the background, I don't really think it's worth watching because it doesn't really offer anything.